Hi everyone and welcome back to the Trail of the Dead, our Defiant TTRPG actual play. We are on episode 6. Um, we are missing Fairy today. They were not feeling well, so decided to sit out for today, and we all believe in taking care of ourselves and having time off. As for the rest of us, we're here, we're queer, we're ready to play some games. And we're gonna just let everyone go around, introduce themselves, their characters, starting with our storyteller, who also might have an awkward icebreaker question for us to answer in or out of character. I don't know. Is that something?
Do it.
Luckily, I'm super great at just coming in with these off the dome, and they're
It's
always
been 6
bangers.
weeks. I don't know.
Why didn't you just
put
Google
this
a
in your
list at
game
some point,
prep?
dude?
It's happened 5 times in a row already.
I was looking up music and poetry. I don't understand.
Well,
So I'm
music
Andrew.
and poetry related. So go ahead. Sorry.
I'm Andrew. I'm the one in charge of this bad boy. Last time, the team was a bit split up, and we're going to be sort of accounting for that today. So, while Fairy is out, and we hope that she is feeling better, and the game might be a smooch shorter due to her absence, we will be doing the best we can to bravely soldier forth with courage in our hearts. That being said, the awkward icebreaker today is, what's your favorite scary movie? This is what we call vamping for time, because now you guys are going to talk about it for 20 minutes.
No. Oh no.
Light fuse, run away.
Okay. I'm assuming I'm next because I'm usually
Mhm.
next. Yep. So I'm Ellie. You can find me on Twitter at @lesperanto, where you can hear my ranting and ravings about dumb things. And that's about it. So you should come see me in Defiant here. And my favorite scary movie. So if we're going for actual art, because I'm cool, I like the movie Let the Right One In, but the American version, the original version, because it's way better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If we're talking for simping purposes, it's any Ghostface movie in existence.
Oh God, cause Scream.
Yeah, and if you're actually talking about terrifying the shit out of me, it's the 13th Ghost movie, because I was like 6 or 7 when I saw that, and a glass house of murder ghosts is just too much for me, apparently.
Oh, see, when you said Ghostface, I automatically just went to Scream, because that is the name of the horror creature in the Okay.
Mm-hmm. Anything with Ghostface in it. Anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hello, everybody. Pope here. Pope Roble on Twitter. Pope Roble on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. I'm happy back playing Clive. So I've got like a few answers for this. Like the one that I have watched the most, partly because I like things that are funny to me, and there are definitely horror films that are funny. And then the other part because the DVD I have has commentary tracks, and Rob Zombie's voice is quite soothing and it helps with the insomnia sometimes. So House of Thousand Corpses, where you find out that he spent way too much money on wigs, and you can tell precisely in the film when the money ran out.
Wait,
yeah.
He didn't have to pay his...
Yes.
He didn't have to pay half the actors. He was married to 2/3 of them.
Where
did the money go?
No. He has an obsession, and I can't blame him, with good wigs versus bad wigs. And
all the budget was just spent.
He went to wig makers all the way out in London to get the good wigs.
Mr. Robert Bobbert Zombie, my brother in Christ, platinum blonde is a euphemism.
But yeah, no, you can precisely tell when the money runs out, and it just tickles me so. And then obviously I have a soft spot deep in my black heart for Hellraisers 1 and 2.
Oh yeah.
Blessed. Absolutely blessed.
Oh yeah.
I no. Part of Clive's name, like Bradley, comes from Doug Bradley, who played Pinhead, and who I, as a freshman in college, somehow, some way, he showed up into the middle of Florida on Friday the 13th of my freshman year of college in October.
Delicious.
October, Friday the 13th, and did a one-man show of just horror bits. And it was everything that you would hope it would be. And for that, I just in awe and love. So yes, that is my solid answer.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, I'm Val. I bring to you Zelikanath. So for y'all who know me very well, just as a reminder, I have a film degree. So that is what my profession is. So when you ask me what any of my favorite movies are, the list is not short. So let's just categorize this. My favorite science fiction horror and top 4 movies of all times, if you put the entirety of the Lord of the Rings into one movie. But the favorite would be John Carpenter's The Thing. Because, like, one, it's both science fiction horror and a psychological horror. It's more of a psychological horror than it is science fiction horror. One, the gore effects, which I think is done by Tom Selleck, or not Tom Selleck, whatever his name is.
Tom Savini.
Tom Savini.
Yeah.
Just
Locked
fantastic.
himself in a room for a year without sleep or food.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic gore effects. Some of my favorite vampire movie also has Tom Savini in it, as it is From Dusk Till Dawn.
No shit.
Oh yeah,
I did not expect your favorite vampire movie to be a Tarantino joint.
Yeah, From Dusk Till Dawn. I love Tarantino. I'm from Austin.
Yeah, but like you just don't put Tarantino and vampires in the same sentence together all that often.
I'm sorry, I'm too pansexual. My answer is Lost Boys.
Yeah, there is Lost Boys. Here is what's up with that. I will just straight up admit I have not actually seen Lost Boys.
Is that the one where it ends with jackknife? Is that the one?
No, it ends with Grandpa.
Yeah.
Okay.
It ends with Grandpa. The one thing that I absolutely cannot stand about Santa Clara, all the goddamn vampires. That's the last line. But no, young Kiefer Sutherland.
That is true.
Sutherland. But what about Interview with the Vampire?
Okay, time out though. Can we just talk about how our dear friend Colin at Colonomicon actually looks like a young Kiefer Sutherland, especially in Lost Boys? Look, Pope's like, oh god, I'm right.
You know a young Kiefer Sutherland and his sidekick 2.5 gallons of baby oil. We all remember.
Anyway, continuing down my list because it's not finished. My favorite slasher film is Scream because one, I am a child of the 90s. I am also a film nerd, and that movie is meta as fuck in a love letter to horror film. Okay, shut the fuck up. And most of the sequels are also pretty fantastic. Scream 2 is great.
The new one is amazing.
I loved the new one. My favorite monster horror is probably Tremors / comedy horror. Tremors is actually my favorite movie of all time, followed by Jurassic Park, then Lord of the Rings, and then The Thing. And I think the other two that have really surprised me very recently, actually the Fear Street trilogy is fantastic too if you haven't seen it.
Those were good. Those were really good.
So fucking good. They were exactly what they. Okay, I listen, y'all. We could just have a whole movie talking about horror films and the art of horror because it's fucking art. The other two that have surprised me recently, kind of in that same vein, is The Witch. Because I just, again, psychological supernatural horror, and of course the goat is Satan. And then It Follows. Like, that was a movie that genuinely disturbed me.
Yes.
To the point where I could not sleep. The last time a movie did that to me as a child was Pet Sematary, the original. And I've never watched Pet Sematary again, including the new one. I just refuse.
What?
I had to, look, I couldn't stand, I was 12. it was worse for me than The Exorcist. Everyone thought The Exorcist was gonna scare me. I'm not afraid of Satan, okay? Like,
I
but
watched.
my animal's coming back to life. Fuck.
I remember I was 7 and I watched approximately 4 seconds of The Exorcist. Specifically, the 4 seconds where Reagan spider walks backwards down the stairs.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then I ceased.
Yeah,
quickly.
I like The Exorcist. I just think that it's overrated and not the scariest movie ever made. But yeah, those are my answers. The Thing. Oh, sorry. My favorite werewolf movie is The Howling. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
That one's usually
tied with Silver Bullet. I also really liked Silver Bullet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I have a fondness for Ginger Snap.
Ginger Snaps is so
Ginger
good.
Snaps is really fucking good.
Of course, American Werewolf in London. Like, there's lots of good stuff out there. Hi,
But, like-
everyone. When I'm not geeking. What's your favorites, Andrew? What's your favorite scary movie?
I was gonna say, like, there's a real differentiation on the family tree between
Hold on.
horror movies that are intentionally queer and horror movies that aren't intentionally queer,
Mhm.
but they
Oh,
all
yeah.
are.
Hey, Andrew.
Everyone.
Guys,
I think
if
Val
you,
meant to go. What's your favorite scary movie?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
the-
What's your
the-
favorite?
but guys, if you want a treat, go and dig up The Hunger.
Oh, The Hunger's good.
That one's good.
Yeah. Yeah, David Bowie vampire movie.
Mm-hmm.
Susan Sarandon. Good times. Good times.
Man, where's Jack when you need him? Jack is all about the horror stuff. Satan Wave. So
To
that-
answer your question, which was my question.
mhm.
Rubber, Alien, The Thing, Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and then whatever creature feature I've got going on this week.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Tucker and Dale is fantastic.
Which
Tucker's so fucking
movie nerds? What was the horror movie with Megan
Fox,
Fox,
Jennifer's Body.
Jennifer's
Yeah.
Body, which is
Jennifer's
also a
Body
fantastic
was my
movie.
horror movie.
Yeah.
My chef's kiss lesbian awakened movie.
It's
part of
yeah.
lesbians, but
Yeah.
story.
It's listen, like the thing is, sorry, since we're shorter person, we'll have time. The thing is with Jennifer's Body is that it took a while for it to catch on because of the way that it was advertised. It was advertised
Yes.
when really it's this amazing like bisexual queer like thing about consent and revenge porn and things like that, and incredibly feminist and actually an actual deep movie, but they didn't market it that. They marketed it to the fucking boys. No offense, boys, because Megan Fox is hot. Okay, and now she's dating Machine Gun Kelly, and like I could be less interested in her.
That's super weird.
Yeah.
I think to be fair, they both got. I think they both understand how bad the industry picks you up and spits your ass out. So
anyway, now to actually talk about the stuff. Hey, we're the Unaffected Game. You can affect the game with your bit subs and donations. Every 100 biddies here gives a re-roll to anyone that you see here. Well, I think it was in a pool. This is a pool one. Re-rolls to anyone that you see here. Idle Hands is great for Devin Sawa. Sorry, we're just watching our Google chat. Right, subscribing to the channels helps us regenerate shards, which is our resource in this game, and donating money. What's the donation again? What do we do? I have to look it up.
Donation is remove a
Yes. You can help with
affliction
an affliction or a
endeavor.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, that's us. That is what we do, and I do want to remind everyone who is sitting here watching, whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching it on the VODs later in the year. This is an incredibly adult-oriented game. We deal with issues that are very mature and sexual, violent, sometimes together, intense emotional distress. We are using safety tools on our end and making sure that we're okay, and if it gets too much for you, pause, take a break, fast forward, take care of yourselves, because we're doing the same thing, and we want everyone here to have a good time having a bad time. And with that,
it's the most fun you're gonna have.
and with that,
it's like
I'm
pulling
done.
teeth.
I also realized I don't have my character sheets up. But with that, I'm done.
So as I vamp somewhat for character sheet time, also check out Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie.
Oh my fucking god! Behind the Mask is really fucking smart. That is a fucking smart ass horror movie. No, everybody fucking slept on it, Pope. Everyone. They're asleep.
So I heard you guys are starting a podcast.
The podcast is literally just Valor Pope says the name of a horror movie, and I freak out.
And everyone talks about it. Yeah.
I've never seen that movie.
Start another podcast about horror films. It's fine.
Listen, I still want to start my 15-minute podcast where I have this dumb chart, and it's essentially categorizing a monster or something into what kind of, like, is it a furry thing, an object, humanoid, or like just 100% pure monster? Because
I mean, can it consent?
I don't know.
Is it fuckable and can it consent?
Yes.
Okay, then we're fine.
Yeah.
Well, no,
this
but it
chart
matters.
lives like in the same family. It sits at the same table as Bechdel and Harkness, but this chart is in a different chair.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Because like werewolves, I think, are like in between furry and monster or furry and humanoid. You have to like make the argument. Because then are you
the
a
most
monster
fuckable
fucker or a
monsters.
furry?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No. First of all,
Holy shit! All the
gargoyles.
vampire
Second of
stands
all-
are coming. Run, Val, run!
I
It's
still
dark
have
outside. They're strong.
I still have the
Also,
question:
werewolves are furry.
Mhm.
Are vampires warm or cold?
Cold,
They're
according
cold.
to the
It
Seven
depends on the
Vampire
type of
Mysteries.
vampire.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the type of
That
vampire,
is
though,
true.
right?
Which I don't know if anyone's ever read the Southern Vampire Mysteries, which are the books that became True Blood. There is a legitimate scene where Sookie actually finally has sex with Alcide, who is the werewolf character, and she's actually surprised how warm he is because she's only had sex with Bill and Eric, who are both dead.
Lesson. Eric is my personal vampire boyfriend, and I will fight
Eric
God
is the only
about it.
vampire I will fuck.
What? No, Brad Pitt as a vampire, fuckable. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Blade, technically I have vampire.
Okay, yeah,
still
no,
fuckable.
Blade is fuckable. Yeah.
Yeah,
I admit
Have
Blade
we
is
have we
fuckable.
Come
heard
on.
a yes or
Mhm.
no on getting a new Blade movie in the MCU?
Yes.
Yes, we are
Yeah.
getting one.
Okay.
It comes
Shala
out
Ali is the
2024?
new Blade.
Yeah.
Cool.
He had a cameo at the end of Eternals.
The,
Spoiler.
Yeah.
the
It's
last
been out
thing
for
I
6
had
months.
heard was like the latest thing I had heard was Moon Knight. And
Moon
then
Knight
Moon
just
Knight
came
is
out.
just because it comes out this week.
Mhm.
yeah,
This week, I want
and
to say.
then like I heard vague floating rumors of like maybe we're gonna do Morbius or maybe we're gonna do.
We are
no,
doing Mobius.
we
That's a
got
whole different
Morbius.
series,
Don't watch it
Unfortunately.
though.
Oh, is it bad?
I'll put it this way: there is a wonderful meme you can find online. It's of Darth Maul, and ignited with the ignition of one side of the dual saber. It just says the worst DC movie, and then ignites to the other side the worst Marvel movie, and over Darth Maul's head says Jared Leto.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Guys,
Oh no!
and Val will back me up on this.
Mhm.
When a film gets delayed this many times and then is
Mhm.
released at the end of March,
Yeah, I know that's a rough time
Mhm.
to release. If you're not releasing around Valentine's Day,
this means they're burying the fucker.
Mhm.
And also,
Yep.
you know what doubly means they're burying the fucker? Guess what opens this Wednesday? Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, good luck. Yeah,
Fuck.
fucking
Fudge nipples, I
Morbius
forgot that was
Studios.
this week. Oh no, I gotta
I'm
take off.
actually
does-
genuinely excited for that. So
I am
Mhm.
frankly astonished, gobsmacked, taken aback, spitting my tea that a movie with Matt Smith in it didn't make money.
Universally, by pretty much everyone, goes, there's one good thing in Morbius: Matt Smith.
Like, here's the thing. I just don't think that Matt Smith outdoes Jared Leto.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
like the
it's one of
issue
those things-
is that like Jared Leto is
Yeah, he's
not good at
kryptonite.
what
He's
he
Jared
does.
Leto is-
No,
It's like negative money,
No.
and Matt Smith is like positive money.
Yeah.
And they just
Jared
sort of-
Leto is good at one very particular role.
Think
Singing.
about
If you want to see him at his absolute best, check out the shorts they shot for Blade Runner, the new one. The work there he does there, where he is this somewhat psychopathic artiste, full of himself, creator of replicants.
Mm-hmm.
That is the best work he has ever done and likely will ever do.
Yeah, see, the unfortunate problem with Jared Leto is that Jared Leto is really, really great at playing one character, and that one character happens to be Tyler fucking Durden. And there's a big problem there.
Yeah, no,
Andrew.
it really, really is.
Because
And
we already done that.
and the thing is that I've also just learned in nerd culture, it's just really, it's always a hit or miss, mostly a miss when you try to reimagine classic characters.
There is one rule Hollywood is slowly coming around to.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to make an adaptation on a property, don't find a director with a vision. Find a director who's a fan of the product.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And the thing is,
And ignore the fans.
yeah, and I think is that that's one of the reasons why the MCU took off so well, and another reason why The Mandalorian is so good is because we are watching Jon Favreau's fucking fan fiction, and it's actually good.
Yeah. But
Reason-
also, I gotta
Yeah.
say, do not make your decisions at the beginning of your trilogy
Yeah.
and stick to them. Do not shift, because that shit never works.
Star Wars.
Oh,
Sorry.
Val,
I
you
need
got
to-
something stuck right here.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
Star
you
water.
understand.
Yeah, clear that right up. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's play game because
Yeah,
y'all
let's
don't
talk
want to
about
get me on my
games.
Star
Let's talk about
Wars.
games, 'cause I'm
Here,
gonna start
I
yelling
will-
about
okay,
people.
I have a confession to make. I have a confession to make. There is only one great Star Wars movie and maybe two good ones. All of the rest are garbage.
I'm
You're-
gonna say it. It doesn't matter because they're all the same storyline. It even has the same villain every
Yeah.
single fucking time.
Yeah, I know.
You're talking to the wrong person. I'm the one fat cis white guy that doesn't like Star Wars.
No, I know another
The
one.
world.
I know a few.
Y'all
Yeah.
don't want to get me started on Star Wars. It becomes a very bad topic. Let's go.
All right.
Let's go to the apocalypse. It's easier.
Yeah, we have to go to the apocalypse.
It's
While
like
y'all
painful.
recap the apocalypse, I'm gonna pee. So we
Alright.
just spent 30
Um,
minutes like nerding out on movies, and you know what?
sorry.
It's cool. Like, no, it's fine. We had a
Yeah.
30-minute podcast, and I'm here for it.
Listen, it's a filler episode, okay?
It's gonna be a
That's
really
fine.
important filler episode.
Yeah,
Uh,
but that happens with fillers, though. You do the whole filler arc, and then at the end, they just fuck you.
So
We're not playing Gantz.
the that is a joke for 5 people, Pope, and I appreciate.
I love
that.
kids.
Yeah, you're one of the 5.
Don't be rude.
It's not rudeness if it's correct.
Listen.
So these individuals are portraying Defiant in the city of Trompe-Voie. The city of Trompe-Voie has been having some problems lately. Specifically, dead people are stealing stuff. A personality movement has come into fruition, and a giant tree suddenly appeared and caught fire in the middle of a park. The team was able to rectify most, if not all, of these problems. And the last time we saw everybody, to my memory, Pope, is to say Clive, had just rescued, rescued in the sense that he did most of the work, even though the work was brought to him. The detective Rebecca Mabasso, who was being attacked by a pair of glass dogs. And then the rest of the team went to go speak to Zero, who is the one who is at the head of said personality movement.
Look. Don't forget my spider girlfriend. Not yet. I'm working on it.
Your spider girlfriend was incidental at best.
How dare you?
The
There's an
thing
internet
freaked me the hell out.
No, it's cute. It's the ultimate present. They're birthing their child for you.
Is that really a gift?
I mean, I don't have to pay taxes for it, and I don't actually have to spend money on it. So yeah, it's a pretty sick kid.
Actually, you bring that up. the benefit, I'm vamping for time, yes, but the benefit of the Defiant system is that the fact that they say everybody has to have two adjectives and a secret makes very fast, very deep NPCs.
I think Defiant itself lends you to pretty deep relationship building, which is always very nice.
Yeah, it's I would really love to see a merger of the baseline, here's your character and here's all your character's friends before you even put dice on the table from Defiant, and the thread system from Monster Heart. I think that there would be a really good merger
Oh
there.
my god. Okay, Deadass, if you guys ever want to play Monster Heart, I will run it. I will play it. I love that game series. No, you don't understand. I actually made at one point a campaign of Monster Heart that was teenagers at a summer camp. And by the end of it, they were helping an ancient moth creature that definitely wasn't Mothman find love. Okay? Like,
That sounds familiar.
look.
Was I in that game?
I think you might have been in that game. I love running dumb games.
Age it up slightly so it's collegiate level, and I'm in, especially if I get to play the witch.
Oh yeah, no, defo. So Monster Hearts, I think, in my opinion, is best aged depending on what sexuality or sexual orientation you want your character to be. Not because it's weird, but because it's easier for me to like force people back into the boundaries of you cannot sexualize like a child. Stop this. You know what I mean? Without making it super like a call out on someone, which I really enjoy. But college Monster Hearts is just skanky. It's gonna be skanky. That's just.
Now that Val's back, I can put a question.
Hi.
Do you want to follow the Aneths going to speak to Zero first, or do you want to follow Clive talking to G first? We can swap back and forth between the two of them, but
yeah, let's. You know what? I'm gonna trust your storytelling capabilities and how that you want to handle how you split two things. The question I have for you: do you have a goal of putting us back together sooner rather than later?
Yeah, you'll be back together at the end of this game.
Okay.
Or at the end of the session, I should say.
The end of the session. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
If that's the case, rock, paper, scissors doesn't matter to me.
Okay. So we'll start with so the Aneths the Aneths are in Uzi's car, driving through the city. And the goal, as was described previously, and correct me if I'm wrong, was to go find Zero.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Like a lot seems to be centered on this. Kind of like as we're in the car, I'm gonna look over at Uzi and I want to be like, because I don't know if I actually relayed the information about what Cassidy actually knows. Like, Cassidy knows more about Zero than she's letting on, because she says, and I quote, he's just a guy trying to do a good thing. And, like, we both agree that that's suspicious as fuck, right? You're muted.
That's textbook cult leader speak. So yeah, I would hard agree.
I mean, she didn't have the tattoo, but and the thing is that, you know how I'm sorry that I've been so lately, but you know how, with jigsaw puzzles, how you have all of the pieces and you know that they go together, you just don't know how they go together.
Yeah.
That's.
Do you think Zero might be one of us?
A Defiant or a person?
A Defiant.
If Zero is giving magic to people, Cassidy would be against that, especially if it's a Defiant. But of course, a proper cult leader would be able to convince even.
It was for the greater good.
It's for the greater good. And the thing is, the thing is about the greater good is that everyone should have a say-so in it.
Yeah. Besides, they seem to know quite a bit about the magical artifacts they took from you, their connections to other Defiant, and who's capable of things like surviving becoming a giant burning tree. And I don't really put that on mortals unless they were someone's pet. But even then.
Even then. So yeah, so that's sort of why my frustrations has been, and I feel I don't express myself well when I'm frustrated. I don't express myself well with words at all. I'm just
Yeah.
used to muscling my way or intimidating my way into getting what I want, which I'm a smart guy. I am putting this together, and my instincts are telling me one thing, and there's just this constant, and it's not just from you. I feel it from everyone around me, including my own wife. This dismissive attitude towards the thing that has kept us alive for millions of years. Um, and I just kind of want to apologize for being so snappy. I just want to protect this place because it's ours.
I know.
You just don't take away what belongs to us.
Zillick, though it pains me to admit that I might have been wrong in some senses, I will admit that I have been distant, a lot of late. It's just, in my own way, I am trying to protect the things I care about the most.
Oh, does
And
that
that does
include me?
include you. Of course it includes you.
Yeah, I do. You are the
Well,
oldest after all.
Yes.
It's
And
just
while
your
I may
job.
not
Yeah.
while I may not be always the most honest with you or patient, I in my own way am trying to protect you from other things and the things that I do.
Yeah. You know, I do everything that I do with a reason, even if I can't explain that reason.
Same.
Just bro fist you.
I'm gonna call that the cold open.
Yay.
So the camera pans back up to show the title card of light pattered upon our upturned faces like drops of rain. And the poem for this episode is I remember the house where I was born, the little window where the sun came peeping in at morn. He never came a wink too soon, nor brought too long a day. But now I often wish the night had borne my breath away. Which is by Thomas Hood. It's called I Remember, I Remember. And as that poem is finishing up, the two of you pull into the parking lot of the Bacchus Nihil Institute of Science and Technology, which is a college campus just sort of to the north of Barristertown.
Mm-hmm.
Finding zero actually wasn't as difficult as it may have been made out to be by just looking at one of the flyers lying around and making a phone call or two. You're able to locate his office in the M building on the south side of campus called Philosophy Row.
That's so stupid. That's in character.
The light has a certain flat and special quality to it. It's still around 9ish in the morning on the 11th. Everyone has been up for most, if not all, of the past 24 hours at this point. So it has that sort of weird, hazy, semi-real quality to it as you walk over the small grass crest and into the dark, startlingly dark interior of the building. There's a small directory and sort of background people milling and walking back and forth, going to classes, coming to and from the various rooms in the building. So where you want to go?
Oh,
Well, let's see if Professor's having office hours, shall we?
sure.
I'm gonna start looking for the like how college campuses have that one crevice in a building where they shove every single professor.
So it's sort of weird. Everyone, it's almost an open secret around here. Zero isn't a professor. He isn't, someone teaching anything. It sort of seems like the from what you can gather talking to people that he just sort of showed up in the office in the basement, and everybody who asked about it says, well, he's been renting it out for as long as the records go back, and that's where most of the zeros end up meeting to have their conferences. So nobody really bothers him, and he doesn't seem to really bother anybody else.
I'm getting strong community vibes. That's also in character. They just let.
I never got around to watching it.
Do it.
And I feel really stupid for not doing it because, I really like Joel McHale, and I really like oh God, what's his name? The young guy. He's the rapper.
Childish Gambino.
That's the one. What's his real name?
David. Sorry.
Anyway, no, that's also in character because
Daniel Glover.
Because of how absurd it is just to rent out a random office in a school basement that isn't dedicated to actual education or to someone here who teaches. So it's just a little weird, and I'd be like, oh, that's fucking weird. That sounds literally something out of and coincidental.
Mm-hmm. Should have bet money that he was a Defiant. Are they? We never know.
What if he's a janitor?
That would be sus. I'm gonna take off my driving gloves and put on
Is that the logical conclusion of The Butler did it, where 70,000 people across these various college campuses are dead because one janitor, no one suspected him.
It's just literally the janitor. Okay, well, let's go check this guy out.
Okay,
cool. I'm gonna text Clive if you don't hear back from us in 2 hours, we're definitely dead.
So the two of you go down this sort of mauve-colored hallway and into a rickety mirror-lined elevator, and you send that message just as the doors close.
Yeah.
And the camera snaps across town to Clive, who is in his courthouse, I presume, still.
Now that I made it off the building, yeah.
Yeah, sorry about last week. We used up all the budget on those 2 explosions, so I couldn't exactly show you what was going on. I had to infer it. But it's all good now. We got a new budget for the new episode. So you eventually end up making your way back through the oh, I know what you're talking about now. Okay, yeah, that's smart. To eventually end up with Sovereign Decree and Rebecca Mbasso in sort of one of the drawing rooms, I guess would be the best term. And Sovereign, to their credit, is doing the absolute best that they can to sort of explain why Mbasso is having 2 discrete but simultaneous sets of memory pertaining to the attack at her house. But she's doing it by using Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck as meta-narrative stand-ins for well, you see, Daffy's always the trickster one, but only if Bugs isn't in frame. And that's because it's the nature of their own personal stories. And Rebecca's kind of scratching the cast on her arm and smoking a cigarette. Okay, I'm picking up maybe 5% of this.
Take it you're not more of a Disney versus Looney Tunes fan.
I grew up in London.
So Danger Mouse.
Yeah, it was all Fleischer.
Okay. Yeah, I can't go with anything there. Uh, best I can do is Monty Python.
Like instant recognition on Rebecca's face of like, ah, haha, all right, you've touched on the cultural touchstone that you needed to.
It's very much like that, where you have in those sketches you have the sort of straight man, often played by Graham Chapman. That is one thing you're experiencing, and then you have Eric Idle, and they're both happening at the same time, delayed.
I see. Between her and Sovereign, she's able to describe the two sets of memory she has. She remembers both that two really nasty looking pipe wielding dudes in suits showed up at her place with a pair of like very angry looking mastiffs. And between the use of a butcher's knife, a fire axe, and a shovel, she was able to fight off the two dudes, got in her car, and ran the hell away from the dogs. But she also remembers two 7-foot tall guys in suits with horns coming out of their heads who showed up at her house with a pair of dogs made out of chainsaw glass. And she says that this is very distressing to her because she remembers both sequence of events happening with perfect clarity.
As Clive's just like registering all of this and remembering conversations with Zelek, and all of a sudden having a oh shit moment. So yeah, no, both things happened. That's the problem, because both are true. And so the mind has a problem reconciling that. And it is distressing. But in time, and hopefully we'll have enough time, acceptance eventually rolls around. But the important thing is that you're safe. And just indulge me a second. You are certain that in the glass version, the men had horns?
Yes. One of them had horns that were straight out about this far away, and the other one had swept back ram's horn style. The one with the horns that were like this gave me a good handhold to start slamming his head into the oven.
Okay. How of you like some tea?
They would both love some tea.
I'm going to head to the kitchen.
Rebecca's British, dude. She needs tea like she needs air.
And I like to think that this is the point where I get the text message and going, we'll check in later. Dealing with being assaulted by glass wolves. I hope they're dead. Talk about it later, making tea.
So, Clyde, you go into your kitchen. I imagine is it a big kitchen, or is it one of the little kitchenette things? Because this is like the courthouse.
In this section, if we're near one of the drawing rooms, I think it's more like a break room, where there is like an electric kettle, a small like wooden cubby full of different teas, coffees, and whatnot. And then there's, because I'm almost certain with Clive, there's a French press for the coffee.
Oh man, I love Bradley. I love this man. I love him with my entire heart.
And then like a selection of, because all the tea is loose leaf, So there's different T-balls.
Oh god, I
Um,
remember those T-balls.
and yes, starts just gets into here's a shout out. A loose leaf version of Fastlane. For those of you who are familiar with it, it is um, tea with extra caffeine added. It is effectively jet fuel.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's the good.
so
It's what you need when you're done mainlining Mateen bombs in 5-hour energy shots.
yeah, no, it's Fastlane cut with just a little bit of a ginger cardamom assam mixed together, uh, and then goes gets the heavy cream, the sugar cubes, and comes out later with a tray once everything's set.
Um, Sovereign and Rebecca have been sort of conversing, and Sovereign seems to have taken the initiative. They're sort of bringing Rebecca up to speed on like this is what the carnival is, dog. This is what's going on with these dudes with horns. This is why my husband has a bleeding problem every month or so. You know that sort of general like pieces of information that are now contextualized by having the actual answer. But it seems that the two of them are fairly deep in conversation.
Well, just set the tea down. Um, Catch Sovereign's eye for a minute and just do the spouse like going, "You got this right now, or would you like me here?"
They've got it pretty much under control. They once
Okay.
the language barrier has kind of been broken, they're sort of able to lay out like what's going on a little more effectively. It super helps that Mabaso grew up in a Catholic school in London, so it's sort of like God exists and the angels are here, and she's like, I already done heard. Actually, as a matter of fact, they told me.
Okay. With that, seeing that's in hand, it's just a matter of quickly check because again he called for everybody, both red and blue team to show up.
Yeah.
It's just like quick roll call, head check, make sure everyone's alive and here.
Yes, everyone comes in for the quick conference around the table, and you know you're sitting at the head of the table, and you're looking out over at the left and the right hands. And you got your Midnight Pilot, you got Harrison Darling, you got Morris Mason, Joel Joyner down one side of the table, and then right straight across from you on the other side of the table is a little old lady that you've never seen before. And then on the right hand side of the table, you've got Jackal, Alexis Fire, Harper Webb, and Mike Mickelson. And they're all sort of everybody's sort of like, yeah, everything's pretty good. We got a handle on what's going on here. Everyone's sort of checked in already, and we're keeping a good eye on all of the subordinates.
So I look at everybody for a second, and then I stare at the little old lady I've never seen before.
Yes,
Have we met?
we have not.
Okay. Mind
And then-
explaining
like-
why you're here.
All the other guys at the table are like, hey, there's a little old lady here. The hands go to guns very quickly.
Just do they let's hold. So hi.
Hello.
May I have your name?
I can tell you my name, but I won't give it to you. I'm Granny Miranda Ghost, and this is your card. And she puts a card down on the table and slides it over to you. It's a tarot card. It's number 0, the Void. I'd like to talk to you, Mr. Bradley.
In private or with our assembled guests?
How easily distressed are your workers?
Not.
Then it'll be fine here. Oh, actually, let me go ahead and wreck on that. She does want to do it in private. Yeah,
Okay.
because I realize I don't want to do like 8 other NPC reaction shots,
Okay.
especially when they're all going to be like, "Oh,
Well, if that's the case, might I suggest we go to the study and we just head off to
yeah."
this small little like law library.
All right. The camera follows the two of you down the hallway, and as it passes through the doorway into the sitting room, it comes into the elevator as the anaths are riding down.
Seriously, Zelik, what kind of glass do you think we would need to make glass dogs to survive the pressure of the waters?
Well, we know it's not Pyrex. Because that shit will
Yeah,
survive
of course,
anything.
Pyrex is trash. Maybe we could. Oh, great, we're here.
You know how, like, okay. So, you know how, like, with, like, pipes,
Mhm.
you have glass pipes and you blow with heat?
Yeah.
Some Christmas ornaments, maybe they're made like that. But the thing is, it's not the fact that they're glass that's weird. It's how did you animate them that's the weird part. Clearly some magic bullshit. Who do we know turns things into, like, inanimate objects into living things?
Fair.
What's
Geppetto?
up?
We should beat this guy up first.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you going to beat up Geppetto? He's an old man. It's an easy fight.
Silence.
What's he going to do?
We're gonna,
So the elevator doors open up, and this is where I'm going to give the warning that I should have given at the top of the episode. But this episode is going to be dealing with illusions and edited memories, which to some can edge into gaslighting. So if that is going to bother you, I would recommend just go ahead and watch the recap or read the recap on the website, because it's about to get real spicy. So the elevator doors open up, and you see in front of you what to Uzi and possibly Gazelic appears at first glance to be the Red Room from Twin Peaks, which is to say tiled floor and hanging curtains. What makes this a little bit different, though, is that in addition to all of that, as well as sort of the indirect lighting that illuminates the area, there are also large standing mirrors that form a hallway leading down into the dim light towards the end of the passage.
Well then.
Okay. I mean, I guess renting is interesting because, there's only so much you can do with the rental, but I mean, you did pretty well, I think.
It does give off I know everything cult leader vibes.
Yeah, totally.
He got it at a discount because he rented out their mirror and curtain storage room.
Gotcha. Yeah, cult leaders. So what level of cult are we thinking? Are we thinking Jamestown? Are we thinking Westboro? Are we thinking Nexus? I'm gonna go with like the Nexus. Yeah, that was really popular in this area for a while.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Maybe a little bit of both.
Maybe a little bit of both. Yeah.
We can get something good here.
Well.
All right.
Hey, if you see two twins though,
shall we?
That aren't us, wanting us to
Kill
play, yeah, we just fucking kill them.
Wait, are they hot? And what kind of play?
They're probably children. Like I'm making another film reference.
No. Did I have to watch that one?
Oh, I totally made you watch that one. I made you watch that one.
But did I watch it or did I pretend I watched it?
You hid behind me when the axe came through the door and we went, here's Johnny. So you were definitely watching it.
Oh, I probably magicked around that. I don't like terrifying things. All right. So
let's hope nothing here terrifies you. If you will, you can just hide behind me. Again.
I feel like the lights flicker. Nothing bad will happen. Flicker, flicker.
the two of you step off of the elevator, and the camera lingers behind for just a second as all of your reflections in the mirrors on either side stay in place and continue to watch you as you leave. The elevator doors close behind you, and you can hear it sort of shh back up.
It's
Shall I
okay.
take the lead?
It's okay. I could get us out if we needed to. I just literally just raised this place out of the earth. We're fine. Let's go.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna. Who takes the lead? Do you want to, or shall I?
So here's what's up. This is what I'm thinking. I think you should go because you're the oldest,
Yeah.
but I'm the biggest. So
Yeah.
you go first because it's more intimidating to have a figure loom over the person with like the intentional power and then have someone of physical power. Like I think that'll make it all very imposing. Let's do this.
Which one of you is going to be
Sure.
the cop?
Yeah, Uzi's first.
I'm first. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now do your thing, Andrew. Where shall we go?
There's only one path ahead of you, and that's a path demarcated by these large mirrors. I'm talking like 10 feet tall, about 8 feet wide, a piece. And you can kind of see your reflections as you're moving down this hallway that, like, again, it's not particularly well lit, but it's bright enough that you can sort of make out what's going on as you go further and further. And just 1 second. All right. Zelik, something interesting catches your eye as you're walking down these halls. And what you see is that even though you saw your reflection on your left-hand side as you were walking down, you realize a couple of steps later that there wasn't a mirror back there.
I'm gonna be like, hold on a sec. And I want to investigate what's sort of going on with these mirrors, because what are mirrors but sand, and what is sand but the earth? So I'd like to use some of that elemental prowess to see like what's up with are the mirrors real, or are the mirrors an illusion? Like what's going on here?
Sure.
All right, let's see. Is this a roll?
Let's see. Let me reread what the rule is for your elemental blessing. Blah, blah,
That is
blah.
true.
I will give it to you for free to look at the makeup of the mirrors, but if you want to affect them, that's when shards and rolls come out.
Absolutely, yeah. I want to like just put my hands against the mirrors, and I like palm first. I don't give a shit if I leave a smudge. Did she like figure out like to tune with the makeup of this mirror? What is it made out of? Is it real? What's going on?
Your hand settles on the glass. It's cold. It's been here for a while. It's to your sensation, mostly silica with some imperfections and a synthetic silver backing that you would expect to kind of find on any standard mirror. So it doesn't really strike you as particularly strange. However, the camera is sort of like getting an extreme close-up on your face. It's getting an extreme close-up on your hand. And then it gets a profile shot of your face. And you're touching a mirror in your house. This huge, opulent, grand manor. And now we're going to jump back to Uzi.
Okay. But what is it made out of? That's what.
Uzi, you're down here. Where are you going? You're sort of going down this hallway full of mirrors.
Does this hallway have a mild resemblance to anything in a dream that I had at one point?
In the sense that you recognize that there is a vanishing point when there shouldn't be at the heart of the hallway, yes.
Ozzy is going to start humming the I saw you, the Once Upon a Dream song,
Mhm.
and it's gonna look at Zillick as
you talking
they're
about?
doing their
Hang on.
investigation.
Whoa, what are you talking about? You didn't come here.
Oh,
with
there's
Zillick.
no Zillick.
You came here alone, remember? You came here because you're the only one that's competent enough to go up against Zillick, or go up against Zero. You didn't want to bring anybody else with you. And as you're sort of remembering that, like how could you even fucking forget, something so obvious like that? You turn around and you look at your bedroom, and you look at your bed, and you're like, oh right, yeah, the suit, right? Because I've got that date with Gabriel tonight.
What do we wear to impress an archangel?
Now let's go back to Clive. That smile is very encouraging, Val. I appreciate that. I was a little worried about pulling these on you, so I'm glad that you seem to be enjoying it. But for real, is everybody okay so far? All right.
Intrigued.
Oh yeah.
So you're in the sitting room with this little old lady. She's the West Coast post hippie era granola munching grandma. You know her.
Jane Fonda.
A little leather baggy around the face and shoulders from being out in the sun for 30 something years.
In the Pacific Northwest, there's no way. There's no sun here. Sorry.
Callie. She's from SoCal, babe.
Oh, okay, never mind. She's from SoCal.
Sun kissed.
Okay.
She's skinny, like wiry, thinning, still kind of blonde hair. Like this is the kind of old lady that was going around and doing hiking and all that stuff when she was 20 and she didn't stop.
I'm still picturing just a slightly tanner Jane Fonda.
It works. Your shard, on the other hand, your defiant soul, the infernal consciousness that you pulled out of hell and stuffed into this body, is currently withering in abject primordial terror. Because this isn't just a little old lady. This isn't just a deva. This is one of the old devas with a capital O and a capital D. You can sense that this woman is miles in every direction. And that's only the parts of her that you can conceivably comprehend. There are parts of her that even your defiant side is like, I don't fucking know. It's metaphysics at this point. But she's just sort of smiling at you placidly with her hands folded in her lap, the table between the two of you, the sunlight sort of filtering in, giving it this nice glow through the wood and the mahogany of the shelves and the chairs.
So, to what do I owe the honor of this visit?
Mr. Bradley, you appear to be in some manner of trouble. In fact, if I'm awake, a lot of people are in some kind of trouble. But yours was the name that came up first on the grapevine. So here I am. I'm here to warn you and hopefully empower you for what's going to happen next.
Well, I'm listening.
I'm glad. Get comfortable. We might have to cover this again. Let's see. I want you to think of an idea or a concept. The color red. Let's try that. I don't want you to think about the different shades of red. I don't want you to think about items that are colored red. I want you to think about the encapsulating concept, the fundamental makeup of red. Not the wavelength, the sympathetic response with color in your eye, or even the electrochemical process that's happening in the brain right now that you're using to contextualize what I'm saying. I'm talking the core of it. Do you have that in your mind?
Dealing with platonic ideals. Okay.
Good. So what happens when you make that real? What happens when you take all of the red, the conceptual, platonic, hyper-real ideation of red from everywhere, and you make it into one object, a physical object there on the carpet that is red. Not is red simply colored or dyed, but it is red. Do you see?
Peers down at the carpet for a moment.
It's a metaphor, Bradley. You're fine.
I'm not even Ratatusk in this conversation.
It's gonna get worse.
I am but a leaf on the tree.
But sometimes these ideas are small. If you think about it, really, there are a lot of things that aren't red. But there are some things that are big. Some ideas and concepts that are so big that they're alive. In the beginning, Bradley, there was nothing. Do you remember that part? In the beginning, there was nothing. Pure, unformed, primordial, not bound by definition or conceptualization, because this nothingness existed before there were observers to delineate what was and wasn't nothing. And then God came. God, the first observer. The one that looked upon nothing and saw that there could be things that weren't nothing. This realization, this action, so minute and binary as to barely be able to be called a catalytic agent, gave this nothingness shape and disparity and identity. This was null, bound by its name, made real by its absence, by the curvature of the vacuum left behind. Retroactively, because it is the nature of these things, it became a Leviathan. It became the first Leviathan from which was birthed the concept of dragons. No, the Omega, the last, the endmost void that will swallow the ultimate gasps of Hawking radiation as the final atoms die. Do you see now the sadism of God? Take something so huge, so conceptual, so noble in its pre-quality info form and bind it. Is that not cruelty? What agony a sentence must be to be trapped within a gowl of perception. So Bradley, is it really such a crime for this creature to seek a return to its natural state? And she kind of reaches into her purse and produces a small cigarette case and pops it open, and she pulls out a cigarillo, a little brown, Al Capone sort of situation. And as she's fishing through her pockets for the matches, she says, matter. Information granted physical form in an imperfect compression. Each atom that makes up your body, that contains the identity of you, is almost completely empty space that gaps the occasional arc of electricity. You, me, your loved ones, your friends, this city, this planet, God, are only barely real in any meaningful sense of that term. Everything else is nothing. Everything else is null. And she pops the match that she's holding with her fingernail and lights the cigarillo. And she shakes the match out and uses it to guide your eye down to the ashtray on the table that has 3 other burnt matches and the butts of 3 cigarillos already smoked in it. And as you're looking down at that and sort of catching what's going on here, you're noticing that there's a haze of smoke that is built up in this room, and the shaft of light coming in through the window is noticeably changed. Do you have a reaction to that one?
There is this very heavy sigh. I'm guessing I'm going to take the glasses off again.
You are? I'm sure you're seeing it now. The mind has ways of protecting itself, automatic processes to prevent ideas too large from overloading the senses and shutting down the flesh substrate that contains your info form. You do it all the time. Saccadic masking, mimetic filtration, subcognitive information parsing designed to prevent your consciousness from being overwhelmed by sensation. In fact, I'll show it to you right now, as I've shown you a couple of other times already. You haven't been thinking about the texture of the clothing on your body until I was partway through this sentence. Once you pick away the veneer of perception, you realize that consciousness is a squirming morass of Munchausen, trilemmas, and Cartesian theaters, a farce of imperfect transference and simulated data processing. But you shunt it out. You have to, for your own protection. And that's natural. That's part of being alive. But every iteration leaves behind just a little more residue. That's how you're observing it. That's how you're remembering this conversation when you didn't remember the previous ones. You're demarcating the holes the shape leaves behind. Think about it, Bradley. A fire burning without transferring the inference of its heat. A pathologist with a surname so conveniently a homonym for naught. A social movement based on the shedding of identity to an infoform ideal. Null is coming back, Bradley. Null is coming here. And the frequency of its foreshocks means that it's going to arrive soon. So I'm going to ask you again for the fourth time, Bradley. I want you to tell me what that means. After everything I've said to you, I want you to tell me what you're going to do now. And to give a little time to digest that, because that was a big info dump, do you think we can go ahead and take the bio break now?
Like a whole break? Yeah, we can take a whole break.
Yeah, we can do the 10.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do a 10. Yeah, we'll be back in. We're halfway through the stream, so we'll be back in 10 minutes, y'all. See you in a bit. And we're back live. Hello, friends. We have returned from our break. I hope everyone is taking care of themselves and staying hydrated. And we are back. So, Andrew, take us back.
Yeah. Okay. So, Zalek.
Yeah.
You're in your house.
Okay.
You have a big house.
Am I in my penthouse that is like connected to the museum, or I'm in my house that's technically my spouse's house?
No, you're in your house. You're in the
Okay.
house that you and your spouse moved into
Gotcha.
after your son was born.
Her son. I don't have a child.
No, after your son, Medic, was born. He's your son. He's been your son for 17 years. Like you're remembering all this stuff now. It's coming back to you.
Okay. All right. My son, who is a hybrid.
No, he took the horns. He's
a Leviathan. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. 17.
His
name is Medic. You said
METTK.
Metic. Okay, Medic. Okay.
And you can hear his voice calling to you somewhere from downstairs.
Yeah, I'll take my hand off the mirror and go towards that voice.
It's the house, the mansion. I should say mansion because it is one of the, like, I hesitate to use the word plantation style because it's like the precursor to the plantation style.
Yeah,
like,
I'm from
colonial antebellum.
Antebellum. Let's go with it. It's very antebellum. Gotcha.
Yeah. So huge windows that are letting in like tons of light. This place is blindingly white.
Big Greek columns.
Yeah, and for the most, like, the room that you're in is mostly empty. But as you're making your way through the various hallways and rooms, you're seeing things like furniture. You're seeing, cookware and cutlery and food on tables and things like that. So it's occupied. The house is occupied. And clearly you can hear Medic's voice calling to you from just a couple of rooms away. So he's obviously around here somewhere.
Yeah. I'm gonna head towards where he's at. Just like kind of shake off like the like, oh, that was weird. And like, why is my hand on the mirror? It's like it's a mirror. That was, and then I like stop and I'm like, yeah, and and I go towards like where this voice is.
You eventually come after a couple of switchbacks and dead ends. That
how am I getting lost in my own house? I should know it by now. This is weird. Yeah.
You come into this kitchen with like big expansive kitchen island, like huge marble countertops and stuff. And there's Medic. He's got your height, but he's got his mom's hair and
gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. Just prince among princes.
Yeah, pinnacle of health and
no doubt.
Not oft one to whip the horns out, but he's still got that prowess that's in the Aneth line. And he walks over to the kitchen island where there's a couple of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on some paper plates and a couple of bags of potato chips. And he's like, I made lunch.
Oh, paper plates and potato chips?
Yeah.
It's a lot of carbs. Are you like very fibrous, but maybe we should have something with the potatoes.
Well, yeah, that's what the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are for.
Potatoes and peanut butter, kid. No, like you gotta at least go with the roast beef. You can't mix that like peanut butter and potato. No, we're not doing this. Like that's your mom that's putting that shit in your head. Who's your mom again?
Let me open your character sheet. Anise, mom's out today, remember?
Yeah, that's right. You're my wife's son.
No, well, yeah, I'm I'm mom's son and yours son at the same time. I used to be mom's son, but I still am at this juncture in time.
Uh-huh.
That's normally how continuity works, pops.
Yeah, of course.
So
Is it just me
I'm,
and him in this room? Or they're like servants or
there are sort of people in the background, but not in so much like anyone, none of your courtiers, just some of your help staff.
yeah, there's help staff and my son, who's making
Probably the worst sandwich
ever,
that he
right?
could. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And he explains, he's like, I was planning on going for a jog later, and I thought I would, carve.
You
one
would
with
carve up and you would
Yeah.
just share that. He kind of like looks around and it's like, these are, I don't know, these, did we hire a new staff?
Oh, I think one of the guys is like sick or something. I think there was like food.
Yeah, but like all of these people, like they just, this isn't my court. These aren't my people. Did we hire a new staff?
I don't know. Maybe I don't really touch that stuff yet. I mean, I will in a couple of months, but like.
Yeah. Because you're gonna have like, oh, you're getting married. That right? Like you're getting married soon, right?
Right.
Yeah, off to what is it, like Cassidy's family. She had a kid, and that's we're just Leviathan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they're anything like their mom, let me tell you.
I've heard the stories. You and her bumped heads a while ago, but
no, we did more than heads. Let me tell you. Oof.
And so water under the bridge. It's water.
Yeah, hold on a second. I wanna, and I was like, hey, everyone, come in here. Staff, please come in here.
Your wait staff. That's
the entirety of the wait staff.
Well, the wait staff, like within earshot, so maybe 8
or so. Everyone here, and because so I'm gonna be like, as you can see, my son has made a sandwich. And it is both crunchy and pasty and gelatinous, and I don't know if that is something that is healthy for him. And as I'm doing this, I'm trying to be the most impressive father ever. So I would like to spend a shard to ask a question. Mm-hmm. Who here, and this is an out of character thing because I'm a terrible person, because I don't think this applies to illusions. Who here is impressed with me? So I'm just stating my intent out of characterly. Sorry.
I am. The nature of the narrative means that I'm gonna have to make you waste that one.
Oh, nice! I like it. I'm here for it. No, you're fine. I tried.
Medic.
Mm-hmm.
He's like.
Dad isn't okay. My kid's impressed with me, but none of the staff are impressed with me.
No, he's the most impressed.
Okay.
Like the rest of the staff is like, okay, it's
all right. Everyone's impressed. Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone is impressed.
One of the staff is like, I mean, we did offer to make him lunch, and he said no, he wanted to do it himself.
Okay.
And we were sort of under the impression that he needs to be more aware of actions taken on his own, as he's going to be, being a man soon.
It's okay. All right, so listen up here, kid. I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to open up the bread, and I'm going to take the potatoes off of the sandwich, and just toss them. Like, we're rich. We don't need to. We can waste potatoes. Idaho is literally next door to us. We're fine. We're on a farm. It's like, listen. There are better ways to get the same, because I know, potatoes got vitamin A, they got crunch, they got all the things you need to, and I just like do this to grow. But we're gonna have to just make some I mean, here's the thing: if you like it, if it tastes good to you, if texture-wise, this is something that you enjoy, not a problem. However, and I just look around for a baked potato. Do I find a baked potato?
easily.
Yeah, there's just a baked potato. I'm here for this. And I just pull out a baked potato from like behind a wall, like on a plate, steaming. And I like place it there. And I'd be like, first of all, you gotta want to have the peel. The peel's where all the nutrients are at. So baked potato, best thing to go. Now, you're starching up. Great. Starches fill you up, but they don't keep you full. You need protein and you need fat to keep you full. Also helps build muscles. Starch for the brain, protein for the muscles. So, from the same area, just like without thinking, just pulls out a pot of chili. Okay? Like, now listen, don't be weirded out by this, but this chili is made from alligator. I'm going to tell you why it's made from alligator. Okay? Because alligator has about the same amount of protein as beef does per serving, but less fat. So, it's an incredibly lean ground meat, and you're going to enjoy the heck out of it. Plus, it tastes like a fishy chicken, and that's just delicious. And I'm just going to pour the gator chili on there. Now, listen, we're not done, okay? I
I'm
know.
gonna stop. You're
Just
doing
the cheese.
you're doing your Julia Childs impression, and
Yeah.
it's a pretty good spiel. Like everyone's sort of wrapped up in it.
Yeah,
Like
we're
medic is just eyes as big as saucers.
Yeah.
Like my dad's the coolest guy on the planet, and you turn around and you see
Mhm.
someone's foot on the floor.
There's just a foot?
Well, it's connected to the rest of the leg, but the
Okay.
obfuscated by the doorway.
Oh, okay. And I look
Yeah.
at the foot and I look up the body.
It's it's Saya, but more importantly, it's Saya's corpse.
Interesting.
And you suddenly remember that you saw this already. You already saw her corpse. And she's been dead for years at this point, just lying in the hallway, forgotten. In fact, so forgotten that you have this sudden realization that not even the bacteria on her body is breaking down her tissue. That's how much information has been completely stripped from her. And more importantly, you know that if you look away, you're going to forget again. Let's cut to Uzi. Uzi, you're in
Yes.
a nice ass restaurant. And also your game is super up for some reason.
Oh no.
Yeah, your mic is like hella loud.
Yeah.
Is that if they're at the same audio as they were earlier, then I might have fucked up my suit.
I'm at the same.
Yeah.
Oh, you're at the same. Yeah, then it's my headphones.
Cool.
Yeah, you had a quick conversation with Vaughn. He's super, super happy that you're going out with Gabriel. He just shoots you as you're sort of walking out to the car. He's also like, oh, by the way, Zelik and Medic invited us to that thing with his girlfriend, the spouse thing, the meet and greet, the mixer, that thing.
The fiance mixer.
That's the one.
Pause.
He says to an NPC that helps him out.
Yeah.
I could have swore Medic was terrified of me for some reason. What's this again about some kind of mixer? Why do I have to be there? Is this
You're gonna be the relative in law. You might as well meet her.
Medic's getting married? Why would I ever want? And he's not marrying into. Yes, but it's what he is. By a very nature, I'm not the most impressed by his options for marriage. His mother is a nice woman, but
if the kid's happy, the kid's happy. That's the end of the day, right? Now go.
True.
Gabriel's waiting.
All right, make sure you pick up a nice present.
The restaurant is nice. Like we're talking the appetizer's gonna run you 3 digits. It's kind of nice.
It's fine.
And Gabriel is dressed to the nines, the full suit,
Beautiful.
the bow tie. Like, think you might actually see a tail coming off the end of his jacket that he's putting on that he put over the edge of the chair. And when he sees you, he lights up, fully, fully groomed, fully cleaned up. Looks like $1,000,000, and he looks like it's the greatest night of his life to see you.
You look lovely. Like, obviously, I'm gonna get out and pull up their chair. I'm not a monster or anything. You look radiant today. Have you been feeling better since the Michael situation? I mean, obviously you're here, so, but
Mm,
I mean,
He's
in your personal life.
he's got this kind of very polite smile on his face. And he sort of tilts his head kind of to the side and he goes, "Who?"
I think this is where I'm gonna spin that shard,
Okay.
and I want to know what here's not what it seems. Like, I'm gonna keep playing along with the dinner. I'm gonna order some very nice food. Um, get the good holy wine. I know that is his favorite, and I'm just gonna like start observing, so to speak.
The question sort of lingers. You can kind of feel your defiant shard reflexively sort of twitch as that question sort of begins to formulate in the back of your mind. Like, it just, something seems just slightly askew, and your defiant soul is like really hanging on that.
Are you
But
enjoying your meal?
yeah, it doesn't really like, the wheels don't catch just yet. And Gabriel's fascinated about what you have to say. He's desperately interested in hearing about your progress on the Birchman, and like how that project is going on. And he's really happy to hear like any status report you have about your personal responsibility, your personal interest and your personal passions, especially since he took back over the court and sort of let you do your own thing with unlimited funding and no oversight.
Gabriel, I'm gonna wait till dessert comes. You know, I like to enjoy my personal fantasy, I suppose. Gabriel, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you do you feel amorously for me? I suppose it's a less pressuring way to ask.
He's sort of takes this deep breath and takes a sip of his coffee and chews on his tiramisu for a few moments, and sort of really gesticulates and digests that question. And he reaches across the table and he squeezes both of your hands in his, and he says, "I have been in love with you since the day we met, and each day I fall in love with you even more powerfully." And now the answer comes back to you. And the answer is a question. And that question is, why do you still need to work on the Birchman project? So, Pope, what's going on, bud? You just had an absolute bombshell dropped in your lap by this little old lady.
So I remember you asking if nothingness should it want to return to what it was. Would that be
Formless.
would that be a crime?
Is that really such an outlandish desire? If any of the Leviathans were here, or even any of the Deva, they would tell you the same thing. You were born human, Bradley. You don't know the feeling of being so powerfully compressed in this form. And I'm only the goddess of the hunt.
The thing is, you're asking about morality. That's the question you posed to me first. And while, yes, we are at best bacteria on it, at best. But even bacteria have a purpose. And to get to more formal law, when an action would unleash such destruction, one such that we rebelled against that which constrained in the first place. It's choosing a side. I already chose mine.
Then you're going to have to stop it.
So nothing has become something.
And it wants to be nothing again.
The best answer in that case is cruel. The best answer in this case is to make that nothing that is now something, something else.
That's going to be pretty big.
No. It's going to be terribly small.
I can't wait to see what you have planned.
It's going to cause a lot of pain.
Well, aren't we in luck that you're the one that I came to, Bradley?
Suffering is a specialty.
And she stands up. I can't stay awake for very long. LeMay gets very bent out of shape when I get back up. So I need to return back to my home, or you're going to have a lot of angels showing up at your door very soon. But it has been a delight, young man.
Thank you for the message.
And she offers you her actual business card with her address on it. She says, come by anytime. I'd be more than happy to have you as a guest.
I appreciate it.
So there was something that was mentioned in the Zoom chat that I don't know if that got brought up in the actual game itself, and that was that Zelik specifically sent the geolocation tag from his phone to Clive.
Yeah, because like when Uzi texts, yeah, it's not just must to say we might be dead if you haven't heard back from us, and that was like, oh, location.
It's been 6 hours since you started talking to Grandma.
And no new messages.
Nope.
The past 48 hours tells me they're in trouble.
Well, do you know where they are?
Okay. It's very quick. Go to the troops. Hi. I'm going to this location. If I'm not back, if you don't hear from me in 2 hours, burn it all. I don't care.
when when you bring that up and you say where you're going, Alexis raises her hand and looks at you like you're crazy. She goes, "When the fuck did we get a college? Why the fuck would we have a college? What are you talking about?"
I'm talking about something trying to become nothing.
That didn't help at all.
Timeout. Timeout.
Negative
OBS. OBS. Timeout. OBS dropped to 0 for this hot second there. Just give it a second while it has its little internet burp. Just a little internet burp doing its thing. Yeah, I even went offline for like a hot second. I should be back.
I'm seeing live on the stream. Let me refresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a delay.
Yeah, there's a delay. There we
we're
go.
just
Looks
back.
like we're working again. Thank you everyone for being patient. My internet's been a little bit burpy, and I blame it when they were roofing my house. So probably just need to readjust some wiring. Anyway, it looks like we're working back again. So
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not raining up there. Well, no, it is raining up there. What am I talking about?
yeah, it's raining today.
That was possibly the dumbest.
Well, I
question
also
ever.
I have fiber. So
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right, Clive. Go
thanks,
get 'em.
Ethan.
And yeah, on my way, I'm just going to send Sparrowhawk a message. Because now, after that conversation and the conversation that now playing back as I'm going there with Cassidy,
Mhm.
Cassidy is compromised. Have the Hierophant put them under some form of restriction now.
The text back is just 2 letters. Okay.
Need to meet with the Hierophant if I survive this.
You pull up to a. Well, it's kind of difficult to say what you pull up to. You pull up to a college, except it's not. It's certainly a series of buildings, but they're mostly empty. It looks like this place was a construction site for like a strip mall or something that was mostly abandoned partway through. But for just the split flicker of a second, you can see the Baxnile Institute of Science and Technology.
Okay. I'm going to spend a shard.
Sure.
Yes, do it.
I love it when you spend your heart.
This is going to give me a target.
Okay.
Who here craves punishment the most?
Are either of the Anats self-destructive enough to answer that question with a yes?
Deluc doesn't crave punishment at all.
What about Uzi? You're on mute.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Uzi for sure.
Okay.
In fact, it feels like a very rigid, veiny desire for punishment right now.
Andrew, read the chat.
I know. Those are
So-
your lines, though. It says your name right on top of them.
Like, when in doubt, demon finds punishment. So it's
Don't
just
worry, you about to find some shit.
it's just the head turns, locks on, and like a hawk that is zeroed in on prey, Clive moves with purpose.
Zelik,
Yeah.
you have eyes on the body.
Is Saya lying down? Is she standing up? Is she animated or is she just a corpse?
She's lying down in the hall. It looks like, based on what you can see, it looks like she took a pretty hard hit to the back of the neck and collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
And it appears, at least from your general forensic
Okay.
understanding, that it was a fairly quick kill.
Okay. But that doesn't answer my question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, she is an inanimate corpse.
Okay, so she's not like an undead. She's
No.
she's just a corpse that's dead that never decomposed.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay. I have a thing of shredded cheese in my hand because that was the next thing I was gonna put on the baked potato. And I set it down on the counter, and it's almost like everything around me, kind of even my own kid, just sort of becomes an afterthought as I, being barefoot, just sort of pad my way over to her corpse lying down in my hallway, and I will like kind of tilt my head very curiously at it because it's a corpse, and I'm just sort of recalling my relationship with this person and how we came to meet and how they came into my court, and the things that I know about her, and how all life for her is temporary because she's out there living multiple lives in multiple planes. And is this a result of that, or is this something else? And I'll lean down, and I don't touch her because Saya hates to be touched. And so even in death, I'm going to respect that. Like, touching is the trigger for the weapon that she is. But let me see what I got question-wise with my shards. What do I have? What I'm going to, on her, very specifically,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to spin a shard to ask this question. What on her is most valuable?
The most important thing in your context for this corpse right now is the last few dregs of information that are all that's holding her here. If the last whiffs of identity were to sort of blow away in the wind, she'll eventually just stop even being recognizable as a corpse.
Mm-hmm.
The descriptor won't fit anymore. So this last little bit that you can still remember her name and that you knew her is the most important thing.
And I will lean forward and whisper in her ear as if she were to answer me, and I'd be like, what should I do with you?
She doesn't answer.
Mm-hmm.
But Medic's hand sets on your shoulder and he answers.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, You can just turn away.
And
The only thing you have. Oh,
yeah.
go ahead.
And I think when he says that is sort of when I sort of reach and I pry his fingers from my shoulder, as comforting as they are. And haven't I told you? You don't turn away from your court. It belongs to you. And you take care of your valuables.
You don't have to hurt like this anymore. You can just care about the thing that's most valuable to you. That's all you have to do.
He's going to think about that for a second and turns and looks at him and is, oh my God. Like, this is just a really good story beat for me. If I go, you're right. I do have to pay attention to what's most valuable to me. And I'm going to like lean forward and sort of tilt my head very curiously at him. It's all just kind of like reptilian, like, you know how like almost like the Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park, where it's slightly playful because like we all know like Zellick's been talking about his instincts, and just by saying that, knowing him, he just goes, I haven't made what's most valuable to me yet. And looks dead at this child.
Uzi.
Sorry, Andrew.
Cliffhangers after cliffhangers. That's what I specialize in.
Mhm.
Whales and whales. What you got there, Val?
Mezcal.
It's a delicious chilled lemonade, I presume.
No, it's mezcal. We wish it was lemon. No, it's mezcal.
Okay.
That's infused with the herb of the angels.
That's the one. Wait, I thought mezcal was by its nature, like that's why it was called mezcal. It's because it was infused.
For TOS, I'm saying that it's been infused with the herb of the angels.
Hint, you dumb bitch.
I don't. The only two things I know about alcohol is that I can't drink it and it scares me. All right.
Out of characterly, it is made straight from the agave plant, triple distilled.
Okay, so it's like a tequila.
It's tequila moonshine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my new job, they've had me work in the wine shop a couple of times, and people are like, "Tell me about this alcohol," and I'm like, "I can't." It's a liquid in a bottle, and if you look very closely, you'll notice that it's got a label on it. That'll be $50, please.
Enjoy your choice of liver poison.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, you got a spiel for me.
So we're still at dinner. We're finishing up dinner. What was the last? Bring my ADHD brain back to where it was, basically.
He said that he has loved you since the first day he met you, and every day he's loved you more.
So this is a fancy restaurant. Is there like you know how they play the live music and stuff? Or like, are we in our own room? Are we in a room with other people? What's the around situation?
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because as soon as you're kind of cognitively aware of your surroundings, you realize that not only is the band not playing, they're just standing by their instruments, but the band, the concierge, the maitre d', all of the waiters and every single person who's dining there is looking at you right now.
Oh, okay. I am going to get up and hold my hand out to Gabriel. Would you like to dance? There's a band, though they seem not to be doing their job.
When it sort of when you mention and it becomes clear that you're aware of the set dressing at this point, Gabriel smiles and sort of brings your attention back to him. And the band begins to pick up. He says, "I'd love nothing more."
So I'm gonna start dancing with Gabriel. Do you know what is interesting about Leviathans, my love?
That you're one of them, and that's all I care about.
We are peculiar things, obsessive, if you will, about the things we want and desire deepest in our hearts. The problem is, we are very specific in that curiosity, and that desire. I'm gonna like take his hand into his face in one of my hands, and I'm gonna go. I've always wanted you to love me, ever since I met you. I wanted you to love me as deeply, as fully as you loved Michael, a man you no longer remember, at least in the beginning. And at some point, logistically, and even in the essence of myself, I realized you can't love me like you love Michael. I can't be loved by you that way. You and your love for Michael was a blended inside of you, and your very essence was created by, your divine creator. And I decided I didn't want that. Do you know why?
Don't.
Because I am a Leviathan, Gabriel. My love for you and my feelings for you are anything but divine. They are ugly and wretched. They are dark and possessive, like the trench I embody. And I'm just gonna start pull them closer and start squeezing slowly. My love and my infection for you is a choice that I made, even in that darkness. Not puppet strings attached by a child with too much power. What I mean is, I want your love, Gabriel. And I'm going to hold his face like that while squeezing him. Your love. The love of a heartbroken angel who too seeks shelter and a reason to go through tomorrow. Not this. This not. And I'm going to snap their neck. Do the pastiche of my obsession is so tiring. What do you want? I'm going to drop it.
The voice behind you is indescribable in its size. It's everything. It stretches back behind you ad infinitum, but it's very soft. I want you to do nothing. I want you to stay here, be happy, and die happy. That's all I want for all of you. That's why I was brought here.
By who?
I can't say. But I can say that they did it out of love. You're all going to die because you are so deeply, deeply loved that in the face of ultimate suffering and meaninglessness, you have been given the opportunity to be euthanized peacefully.
Uzi is just going to start laughing because deep inside, the thing Uzi has always craved was love, to be loved for who he was, not who he was attached to, not just themselves, to be good enough. And this person is offering their supposed euthanization for love, and it doesn't appeal the way it should, So I have two questions for you. One, does Uzi feel, what is Uzi's insides feel about this existence that's talking to them?
It's not a Leviathan. It is for sure 100% ironclad, no doubt, an idol. This is a horseman. And the reason you recognize it now, that the reason that this guy is so goddamn big is that he's still connected to the apocalypse outside. You're seeing what is effectively somebody pushing their finger in through a balloon.
You know what they say about death? In some ways, it's a new beginning. Unfortunately, I'm not ready for that journey yet. I have a thrown away toy to pursue. I'm going to straighten my jacket. So if you excuse me, I would like you to get the hell out of my house. And if you do not, I will be forced to evict you. And that seems like a rather unfortunate thing.
Uzi, you're not in your house. You're inside me. And I can keep you here until you change your mind. And when you turn around, you are looking at your bed, and there's your clothes laid out for your date with Gabriel tonight.
Yes, but if you keep me here, what happens to your precious Birchman?
Your memory got reset, so I'll let you have that as the final
Oh.
sentence, but you're back at the beginning of the loop.
Bond, darling, do you really think this outfit is good enough?
For you? No. But it'll certainly impress Gabriel. All right. It's not entirely clear how you got here, Clive. You're in a broken hallway, some sort of utility tunnel that's full of old, discarded cardboard boxes, broken bits of metal, refuse that you would kind of expect to find at a construction site. And the fact that you can't remember how you got here is actually, in a way, comforting, because it means that you're having some manner of control over the meta narrative. You were the one who chose to be here, not some outside agent. But you are getting closer.
It is just, again, that Clive has sinned against his house because he has decided that being human is not what is necessary here. And further and further, he is giving in to the old selfishness and the desire to hurt, to focus on pain, and to just zero in on it and find where to squeeze.
As you're walking and you're getting closer and closer to the source of that incredibly powerful desire to be punished, and you realize that you're walking with another individual. And that person is just barely out of your line of sight. And he's been talking to you and sort of picking back up in the middle of the conversation. You know that the easiest course of action is the correct one here, Bradley.
You're using the wrong name.
I'm offering you respect. I don't deserve to speak your real name.
but it means that you can't talk to me because I am that name. That is all that is here. And until I rip, tear, bleed, there is no stopping me. So chatter away.
The presence stops walking after you finish talking. You keep going a little bit. And almost as an afterthought, not in a manner of being passive aggressive or snipey, but as though it sort of just occurred to him as you walked away. Bradley, it's human to fail. Are you going to embrace that? Or are you just going to stay true to what you really are? I can make you happy. I can let you die happy. I can let you die human.
Dying gets in the way of my happiness. My happiness is torment.
It's the second door on your right. I'll see you soon, Bradley. You're a real piece of fucking work, you know that?
I will last longer than you have imagination. And I look forward to making you scream.
What are you doing to Medic right now, Zayla?
I'm doing, I'm cornering him, and I'm like, so essentially, like, I stood up and I turned around and like I leaned in and made that, and I'm doing that thing where, prey is just pushing something into a corner, and as I do it, it's almost like with each step, I grow just a little bit taller, and my horns sprout just a little bit more, and grow a little bit longer until I get to the wall. And I was like, I didn't make you.
Isn't that perfect, though? And his voice has completely changed to
Mm-hmm.
zeros. You don't have to do any of the work. You just get to reap the benefits. This is what you want. You can be here and stay happy.
Oh, man. But the work is part of the fun. I don't take what's not mine. You're not mine. Why would I want you?
Because even...
No, the question was rhetorical, sir. You weren't, whoever you are, it wasn't supposed to be answered. Like, he cuts the thing off. Like, that was rhetorical. There is no answer. The answer is I don't. Like, that's the answer.
Medic doesn't really seem phased.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, he doesn't really seem real anymore. You can see that now this is almost a mannequin of a person, not actually an individual. It's a simulacrum, a void of information that has had a very thin veneer placed over it.
And now I'd like to spin a shard to ask a question. How do I destroy it?
You can't kill this thing while you're in its esophagus. You can certainly climb back out of its mouth.
Okay. I'm going to be like, huh. And I will look around, and you said that there was, from what I remember, everything was kind of a maze, right? Just trying to get to this room. So instinctually, I don't believe there's even a door for me to leave in. So I'm just gonna make one. where I'm standing, and literally, I'm gonna.
Go big or go home, Val.
I'm gonna transform so that I am bigger than what I am inside of. I'm gonna make it choke, and I'm gonna make it throw me up.
Okay.
Zealot goes full draconic.
All right. We will deal with the consequences of that momentarily. Uzi. You've been kind of going through your emotions. You've been kind of getting ready for your date. You've checked in on the Birchman. Everything sort of seems to be in order. Pope, did you take Zero's advice? Which is to say, to just go through the second door on the right.
Yeah. It's very simple. He either told me the truth or he told me a lie. And the thing is, it's not Clive, it's Renov now. And as he's moving faster and faster, he's like a cat needing a blanket. He is needing the air. Anticipation of getting to this entity that desires punishment.
Renov walks through the door and into Uzi's bedroom, where Uzi is just finishing up their final touches before they go on their date. Uzi, Clive just kicked in the door from your fucking closet weirdly, and he looks like he's about to kill somebody.
Are you looking for me?
Oh, yes.
Figures. I would never let myself be this happy.
You need pain. And this is just lies.
How else do you make up for the terrors of the things that you've done? Uzi's just going to take a second, look at Clyde, and then they're going to let out what could only be described as the soaring death wail of someone who just lost everything and knows there's no way for them to ever have it again.
As you're transforming, Zelik, in the distance you hear the death of ego, the denouement and destruction of someone's entire identity, the realization that an individual's life and all that they made was a farce. It was nothing more than shadows on the walls. And it resonates with you. It resonates not just with you on a draconic level, because you're hearing the pain of a dragon losing everything, but also on a personal level because your sibling is in agony right now, and you grow and grow and grow and grow, and then you're standing in a room with a concrete floor and an open doorway, and across the hall there's Uzi on their knees with Clive standing just beside them.
Essentially, as this happens, when Zelik is a dragon, when Zelik is in his true form, kind of going back to a few episodes ago, the thing that kind of represents his form the most is, because they're about Triassic years old, is a Sarasukis. And so it's very, that like, he's not a winged dragon. He is what people kind of shown that mixed heritage of earth and water. He represents an ancient crocodile with a long, thick, archosaur type snout. Of course, he has like the long horns that sort of curve over, but also just spikes along the ridges that like crocodiles have ridges. And the cool thing about Sorosochus is that they could be bipedal even at some points. Like they would go on, but they're a land crocodile that could walk bipedal. Like,
That's fucking rad.
it's so like, look, the Triassic had so many weird animals, and they weren't dinosaurs, and it was awesome. Like, and even on continuing on his back, there's even almost something sail like, and just kind of like shoves, and y'all could probably even feel the cement shake. Just shoves his body kind of like off of the cement and just lingers forward to Clive and Uzi. And sort of like once I get to both of them, because I'm just, I'm massive, I will lower my body and have my chest just sort of loom over them, because when it kind of like almost like when a parent animal is like mine to its children almost, that is, and just sort of like whips its head around to see what dares takes what's his.
I'm getting the sensation that everybody's pretty pissed off at Zero right now.
Mm-hmm.
Renov is no longer focusing on being pissed. That sound of ultimate suffering is like music. He is enraptured right now.
Ooh.
Like he is like bloody tears of absolute joy at the sound of the suffering.
On the desk in the room with Zelik. So across the hall from Uzi and Nov.
Mm-hmm.
And really behind you. Sitting cross-legged in a button-down, like Target style shirt and a pair of $3 slacks and a dime a pair pleather shoes.
Man, somebody shopped at Walmart in the 90s.
Wrapped in bandages, save for his head that he's slowly unwinding them around. Zero is just sitting there. And he pulls the bandages away, and there's Salazar Sidewinder. And he sort of folds his hands in his lap and sits up straighter, looks over the three of you. He says, all you had to do to stay happy was nothing. And we're going to cut. The censors have suggested that we cut this scene out. You can watch it on the unrated DVD, but we blew all of the episode's budget on the fake blood.
And the dragon transformation, just like Game of Thrones.
Yeah. we went Savini practical. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
There's scanners footage. We used the shotgun.
After the fact, you're all back in reality. You know for a fact you're back in reality. There is no question about this. Your shards are all pinging that this is correct now, and things have sort of been put back the way that they need to be. The place is trash, really. It all looks like a cheap play at the end of the day. Wooden set dressing, styrofoam rocks, cardboard cutouts representing people in the background. Now that you know the trick, the actual illusion is very, ephemeral and non-tangible. But you could see if somebody was guiding you to look at this stuff in just the right way at just the right angle, you could see how that would look like it was real.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's the three of you, probably still coated head to toe in blood, in a scruffy, overgrown parking lot an hour north of town. Nobody's been out here. And it feels like a victory for whatever that means. But it does feel like a victory. And as the opening strings of Death Cab for Cuties, I Will Follow You into the Dark begin to play.
I can't believe you fucking did that, bro. That song. I'm sorry.
That song. Spoiler, that song is on Saya's playlist.
The scene slowly crossfades out to a hand wrapped in bandages, putting down a warped and twisted Polaroid of Salazar. And a figure just barely out of focus, turning away to continue their work. The end.
Okay. Out of character, Leah, I need some clarification.
Yes.
Did we murder this man?
You killed Salazar Sidewind.
Okay.
He is dead. He is emphatically super duper crazy mega dead.
Okay. We
didn't kill Zero.
But we killed Salazar.
Who was Zero.
Who was Zero, but we didn't kill Zero.
You killed an appendage.
Gotcha.
You didn't kill
gotcha.
the idea.
Yep, that's what my brain is okay, cool. I just wanted clarification. All right, Joe. Awesome. Cool. Speaking of community, cool.
Yeah. Is everyone okay?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, is everyone doing okay?
Yep.
We're great. Amazing. So, thank you everyone for coming and showing up. Thank you, Andrew for in the game, and of course for Pope and Uzi for coming to play. As far as what we're doing the rest of the week, it's the last show of the week. I will be back here on Wednesday night where we are premiering, because we delayed the premiere because of real life things last week. So we're doing our premiere of Isekai University, where I play a cute little centaur, Shetland pony centaur girl, who is also happens to be an Echo Knight and a warlock. So it's a celestial warlock. So it's like it is a mechanical nightmare for the GM. What's up?
But Val, I am a Baka Gaijin weeb-san. Whatever does the word isekai mean?
Isekai is a theme in anime where you get whooshed away from the real world into a fantastical one. And this entire university and everyone in it has been isekai'd or whooshed away into, like, a prime example of an American isekai is The Wizard of Oz.
I have a legitimate, honest, full-on, good faith question for you, Val.
Yeah.
Is Drifting Classroom an isekai?
I don't know what that is.
Okay. So I'll have my people talk to your people.
Okay. You are my people. I don't. That being said, that's Wednesday, and then on Friday we have our Heartbeats in Perfect Sync. We had shouted out Colin earlier today because he apparently looks like a young Keith Sullivan. I'm gonna have to show him that. Where we just had 3 characters heartbreak in a single episode, which is essentially you become the villains. And yeah, we're gonna see how that pans out. But they're fine. The 3 characters are no longer villains. We all saved each other, but there's still some stuff happening. So you can tune in for that. And then, of course, Saturday afternoon, we're back here with some Dragon Age. And then And then back here with Defiant once again. So we're in the home stretch of things, and it's super exciting, and it feels like it for sure. Those puzzle pieces are coming together, and my boy is a little less crazy. So everyone else in the opposite direction, where can we find you in the next 7 days? What you doing?
Hey everybody, Pope here, Pope World on Twitter, Pope World on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. If you want to see more of this ridiculous face, you get a number of opportunities throughout the week. Coming up next is 3 p.m. tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern over on Leave the Tail for some good doggos in Pugmire What Lies Buried. We're doing the penultimate episode, folks. There's a giant rat and treasure to be dug up. There is going to be a fun time. And then on Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern over on Follow Black Cats, we continue on with our Disaster Spies and the spy game Hexcrawl. And then Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern over on Critical Misses. See me just drag some poor university students who just so happen to have superpowers through a Fey-infested hellscape in Mask's Advanced Studies. And then, every other Saturday will be at 4:30 Eastern over on Praxagora Thesbophoria. I know that's a lot of letters. We are back with our second season of Starblade Battalion Memories, a Mechton actual play. And yeah, we just had our first episode back earlier today, and super fun as I play a character that's somehow less moralistic than Clive. And more evil. So if you want to tune in for that, we were glad to have you, and then be back here Saturday for more good times of the apocalypse with Defiant the Trail of the Dead. Thank you all so much for being here with our live VOD YouTube. Stories nothing without its audience. You're much part of this as we are. Thank you all so very much. Take care of yourselves and one another. See you soon.
Hello. So you can come back next week to see my beautiful face and Uzi's heartbroken existence. But in the meantime, you can catch me on my Twitter at @lesperanto, and that is it. So I guess you have to be here next week. Goodbye, pretty mortals.
And hey, everyone, I'm Andrew. I am currently in a very complicated position insofar as creative output is concerned, but you can catch me on here on Saturdays, as well as some upcoming stuff with some special sessions with Misconceptions sometime in the next couple of months. You can also find me on Twitter well, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you'll be seeing a lot of pictures of cute skunks and opossums over at the Siege Andrew. And you can find all my articles and short stories. Animal. Oh, yeah. You can find all my articles and short stories, including an article on why you just shouldn't use sanity measuring mechanics in your games, guys. Come on.
Fair.
Over at s-15studios.com, where you can also find the write-up for the session notes for every single episode of this game when I can get around to doing them. But that's all I got. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you all for playing. Thank you so much for watching.
Absolutely. With that, we're gonna go say hello to our friend Magic Sadie. Sadie is playing some Rise of the Tomb Raider, because why the heck not? Let's go watch some Tomb Raider today, y'all. But with that, we will see you next week. Where's my OBS? There it is. Bye.
Bye.